This episode of Obscure Chatter is brought to you by Closets. Want to live in the South but love coats? Have a closet. You can visit the coats you'd be insane to wear more than twice a year anytime you want. Thanks, Closets. And now, on to the episode. Welcome to another episode of Obscure Chatter. I am your host, Terri Doty. If this is your first time listening, welcome. And if it isn't, welcome back. We're back. We're back, baby. Starting strong with this voice that's kind of like Chris Farley, but also like just a really mad dad at a game. I don't know. That's done. April 4th has come and gone, so I'm here at the ripe old age of 42, doing great, talking like this for no reason whatsoever. I honestly don't feel older. I consider that a win. At the same time, I also consider it a win when I do feel older. It's all very complicated, you guys. What isn't complicated, but I somehow made complicated, is something called muting a phone call. Some of you might recall that Steven had to literally phone it in during the last episode. I had him just on the phone while he was in a completely separate part of the house. This was a quick adjustment on our part, so I didn't really have, I guess, my filter on, but I muted him when he should have muted me. So he heard absolutely none of the episode until he mixed it. I like having Steven as my producer / listener during the actual recording. So I'm glad he didn't stop the recording, but I got nervous that I somehow missed something. I always do. Like, he's trained me pretty well in audio production, but I'm still like, please listen to it. So we listened to the episode over dinner right before I finalized everything on obscurechatter.com and YouTube. So there's that. I felt like such an idiot. And he can hear me now, or he's a much better actor than he gives himself credit for. Let's see. So we're in the booth. We're going to try to stay in the booth even when it gets hotter. I just like standing up. I really don't like remaining stationary, like sitting for too long. That's just so odd. Even when I do sessions that are long sessions, especially newer engineers that had never worked with me, they're like, okay, yeah, be sure to sit down. Like, I won't sit down. I just won't. I'm too proud. Probably way too proud, but yeah. So consider this podcast as a break from, the fire that just keeps on getting bigger and closer, and filled with used needles and thousands of VHS copies of, Wedding Crashers for some reason. That's me admitting that the world is kind of on fire. And if you're listening to this, you probably know that too. So we're going to enjoy this bit of non-being on fire. So yeah. Steven and I have been trying to do what we can to stay calm and chill and not on fire. We've been gardening a lot. And I say we loosely. It's mostly him. And I look at stuff and go, thumbs up. Yeah. So it really is a 50-50 gardening experience. But the nemesis currently right now is cats. Cats and caterpillars. Caterpillars are easier to deal with. Cats, I have no idea why cats are enjoying tearing up gardens and shitting all over it, like literally. And we're exhausting everything we can not to hurt the cats. We just want them to go away. Walking around the neighborhood, I noticed that there are a few neighbors that actively feed stray cats, like leave their garage open and just like feed like over 7 cats that I know aren't theirs. It's creepy. Vinegar seems to be working, but to keep them away from the garden, but they're shitting around the garden. Like, as of the last couple of nights, we're talking explosive diarrhea. So They're keeping their literal shit off my damn tomatoes, but come the fuck on. I'm still crocheting my blanket. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Crochet's also just been great work from my hands, and it's fun. And that's not an old sentence at all. Still drawing my ghosties. I just released one for Indie Bookstore Day today. This episode will be out tomorrow. So that's pretty cool. Working with a bunch of different stuff, challenging myself. I want to try to hit random holidays and the big ones too. Why not? As long as it's fun. If at any point it becomes work, I stop doing it. Unless I'm getting paid for it. More on that later, I'm sure. I did have a friend request a place to view all the drawings, and I'm like, dude, I'm doing it on Instagram, so maybe I should do more, but went to a library sale, bought a bunch of manga and a One Piece cookbook that has some insane recipes I'm excited to try. I am bummed that I was so overwhelmed that I didn't look through all the DVDs I got and basically bought some empty cases. A few dollars just strictly went to the library, so I'm not too mad, but this is also the same library where I bought a mystery book one year, and it turned out to be book 3 in a series, and I'm still more than a little perturbed by that, but yeah. I've been trying to make new friends, which might sound like a weird thing for a 42-year-old to say, but it's just easier to make friends when you're younger. It's harder when you're older and set in your ways and rarely leave the house and are often asked about how to become a voice actor. I'm not saying new friends can't do that, but I'm saying don't pretend that you want to be my friend if you really just want to know how to be a voice actor. But that's a whole other thing. Oh, I went to a big party recently and I met someone that I immediately disliked. That doesn't sound positive, but I actually am always tickled when it's like, oh, I don't like you. So it rarely happens, but sometimes that spidey sense is just on point. So yeah, as always, I've been keeping it interesting. Let's get some water before, and now we're in the after, as I've said before. But just then. Whatever. You guys get me. Or you don't, and you're still here anyway, so thank you. As we've done for quite a while now, before we get too deep into any topics or requests, we're going to cover what was read, watched, and listened to since the last time we chat. We got to talk about new and old media, don't we? I mean, that's the law or a rule. I don't even remember when we started doing that, but grateful. I've added a few things to the list based on your recommendations, and if the messages y'all have sent me are to be believed, you've added stuff to your respective queues as well. So thank you. You're welcome. And I am so sorry. If you know, you know. In episode 70, I'd mentioned that I hit the Omegaverse pretty hard. This month, not so much. There is an update to Mary Magdalene's Tormented Omega series, which I talked about last time. The follow-up just dropped out of nowhere at the start of this month. Book 2 is called Claimed Omega, but I will not go into details because I don't want to spoil book 1 for you. So, yeah. Because I was hyped about the cliffhanger that I was not prepared for in last month's episode of Obscure Chatter, I thought it was worth mentioning that the story has concluded, at least for the main characters. It did do a whole lot of teasing about a continuation for side characters that I currently do not care enough about, but, surprise me. Author going by Mary Magdalene. I'm not outing her. I'm pretty sure she's open about how she just releases those books under a different name. So yeah, can't say any more because of spoilers. But a book I can give you details on is The Other Bennet Sister by Janice Hadlow. This is a book that had been floating around For a while, for me, it kept popping up, and I just kind of kept like, if it was like actually like flying around me, it's just like swatting it away, like, leave me alone. I had no real push to read it. But a couple weeks back, I was scrolling through YouTube Shorts, which is what I've been doing as a replacement for TikTok. The algorithm just started showing me clips of this period drama, and I realized it was a BBC show called The Other Bennet Sister. It's not available in the States yet, but I believe BritBox is going to start streaming it next month. I believe. I'll keep you posted if you are interested. I'm sure I'll post about it on one of my socials or in the next episode. Who knows? But after a couple of clips of the show, it pushed me to download the book. Thank you, Cloud Library. Libraries for the win, as always. I've read Pride and Prejudice, Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice, the other famous classic, not written by Jane Austen. Of course, I'm talking about Jane Austen's Pride and Prejudice. I read it a few times, but I'm not a big fan of a lot of retellings. And, well, I mean, I say that, but I was a pretty big watcher of the Lizzie Bennet Diaries on YouTube, which might be like a whoa callback for some people, but it's been over a decade. I think that was like 2012, 2013, which was at the time a modern take on Pride and Prejudice, or P&P if you're nasty. So having finally read The Other Bennet Sister, I really hate how I blew this off for so long. The story is about Mary. Mary's the middle child of the five Bennet sisters, and I mean, Mary does get lost in the shuffle of the original story. She was a side character, so, I mean, not really that much of a shock. But the book does a short recap of P&P through Mary's perspective before jumping forward in time. And we get to see all the other Bennets settled while Mary is just kind of left behind. Mr. Bennet has passed away, and Mrs. Bennet is still a lot. I'd argue like the most a lot she's ever been in a portrayal I've seen. Like, this is a very unforgiving portrayal of Mrs. Bennet. Some readers might not vibe with it, because when you look at the original story, there's a lot of justification to why Mrs. Bennet is the way she is. But I don't care enough to get into that. So with this story, you get to see Mary come into her own in a very entertaining way. We get to see her away from the other sisters. She goes to London and is with family that actually encourages her to be true to herself and explore what it is to be Mary. And of course, there's a love interest. So it's very, very cute. I like this book a lot. A revisit that I do pretty much once a year since I discovered it is called The Thinking Woman's Guide to Real Magic by Emily Croy Barker. I really don't know if I've ever brought it up on this show, which, if I haven't, is a travesty because, again, or not again, right now, I'm telling you, it's one of my favorite books of all time. I want to say I think it originally popped up as a recommendation as I was reading Deborah Harkness's All Souls series, but I might be lying. Who knows? But it's about a woman named Nora Fisher who is feeling a bit listless when it comes to pretty much everything. Her boyfriend's dumped her. The caliber of her work is being called into question. She's feeling this urge to have an adventure, just not sure how to do it, or if she has the motivation to truly try to do this. So during a weekend at a friend's wedding in the mountains, Nora wanders off one morning for a hike with only the clothes on her back and a worn copy of Pride and Prejudice in her back pocket. After unknowingly stepping into another realm, she meets this beautiful woman named Elisa. With Elisa, Nora goes to these fabulous parties, wears these extravagant things, and meets Elisa's son, Racklin. Everything around Nora is happening so fast, but she just stops caring. And that is very much by design. So Nora doesn't even realize she's not in her world anymore until she meets a tall, easily annoyed magician named Arundiel. I say magician, and I don't mean like, is this your card? Is this your card? Like, I mean like they're wizards, but like wizards are below magicians in this world. Like he's like awesome sauce. So soon after meeting Arundiel, the fairy tale Nora is caught up in fully goes sideways. I will say this book is not everyone's cup of tea, but what book is? Like, I'm telling you, there are so many times someone's really hyped up a book to me, and like, and I'm like, oh, you're just doing that because like your counterculture bullshit. I'm like, no, I just don't. It just doesn't vibe with me. Or sometimes you've already read something similar, and it really is just I discovered this first, so I won't like this because of this. But there's even a follow-up to Thinking Woman's Guide. It came out a few years ago. I actually got to I won a giveaway copy from Goodreads. And I didn't like it as much as I did on the second read. But that one is called How to Talk to a Goddess and Other Lessons in Real Magic. But I can't tell you really much else without spoiling the first book. So spoilers. Another revisit was the Ministry of Curiosity series by C.J. Archer. These 10 books are set in Victorian London. And for the sake of avoiding spoilers, you're so welcome how well I'm keeping you unspoiled. I'll only talk about book 1, which is called The Last Necromancer. The book starts with Charlotte Holloway, who goes by Charlie. And Charlie lives on the streets. She lives in the slums. She's a pickpocket, and no one that she hangs with knows she's a girl. And she thinks no one knows that she's a necromancer. But a sinister doctor knows she can raise the dead and wants to use her abilities for very not good things. So enter Lincoln Fitzroy. Lincoln is the head of a secret organization and is trying to stop the madman that's after Charlie. But Lincoln doesn't know Charlie is a girl. So things get interesting, to say the least. I've read this series a few times. There are some big swings here and there, but overall, it's a fun read. I mean, Victorian supernatural stories. That's an easy sell for me. Maybe it isn't for you. I'm like so happy that it isn't swampy yet, but I also know it's a matter of time. Booths in Texas are fun, or just booths in general. Like, because again, I've talked about this before. AC is really hard to not be an issue when it comes to sound quality. So often, a lot of us just don't do AC. And that was even the case I don't want to say it's a case at Crunchyroll, but at the old Funimation buildings. I recorded Recovery of an MMO Junkie in a booth that's made by the same place that made the booth that I am in. And I would just leave drenched. I feel so sorry when like, hey, Jade's got a pickup. Can she hop in really quick? And be like, oh, don't make her come in here. Don't make her. Oh, no. Poor Jade. It's so hot. So it's not there yet. But yeah. Oh, where was I had this, I want to say earwig, but that's wrong. Earworm. I had this song stuck in my head the other day that I couldn't remember the artist for. And I kept like singing like little bits and here and there. And Steven was absolutely no fucking help at all. We were on our daily walk and I was just like, are you headed for heartache? Oh yeah. And Steven's like, no. I'm like, blame it on your lying, cheating, cold, dead beating, 2-time a double dealing. I'm like, nothing? He's like, no, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. And then after what felt like hours, I just screamed, Patty Loveless. Steven was on a work call and I'm like, Patty Loveless, thanks for nothing. I really do want to emphasize that marrying your best friend is important for many reasons, but also they forgive you for being the absolute worst sometimes. I love that band. But yeah, I used to have Patty Loveless cassettes. And maybe by the time it's like I'm not listening to cassettes anymore and not really listening to like country radio all that much, kind of forgot about her. But I've always listened to a bit of everything. So those tapes were probably wedged between some Selena and Madonna and Meatloaf and TLC and who knows what else. Not even including tapes I made myself. But Steven apparently had never heard of Patty. So I made him listen to at least the song that I tortured him with, which was Blame It On Your Heart, which was like, oh my God, I'm trying to think of the lyrics in that. You've got a thing or two to learn about me, baby. 'Cause I ain't taking it no more, and I don't mean maybe. You don't know right from wrong. Well, the love we had is gone. So blame it on your lying, cheating, cold, dead beating, two-time double dealing, mean mistreating, loving heart. I'm sure that was in perfect key the entire time. But, guys, I'm sorry. I have to stop there. I can't, guys. I can't. I'm not properly warmed up to do that much. Guys, I can't sing anymore. I'm really sorry. We're going to have to move on with like the show without more singing. I'm sorry. Wow. Another musician Steven didn't know was a thing. Tracy Lords. Yeah, I went from Patty Loveless to Tracy Lords. What? The woman is an icon and I will not hear otherwise. I borrowed her album 1,000 Fires from, I want to say my friend Will. Not that it matters. But it does to me. It completely flew over my head that her song Control was in Mortal Kombat. It just didn't have her vocals. It was apparently during Liu Kang's fight with Reptile. But when I played it for Steven, he was like, I had this fucking soundtrack. How did I not fucking know this was Tracy Lords? And I'm like, no, that's a different song. And he's like, no, you're wrong. So when he sent me a screen grab, like a screenshot of the soundtrack, I'm like, I don't want to argue about this. Which is my way of admitting I'm wrong without admitting it. Again, marry your best friend. But since then, I've been revisiting Tracy's album. Like, she's done other music, but I think that was her only studio release. She's just so cool. New to me music includes Combi Christ. I think, like, Steve and I had this big, I'm like, is it Combi or Combi? And neither of us, like, settled on one thing. And I'm like, well, the word comb is in it. So if I'm wrong, just let me live in a delirious sense of being. I don't know. Also, Eagles of Death Metal and Architects. I'm really surprised, though, how much I loved Combi Christ. I just thought they were going to be something different. I don't know. I can't really explain it. I did just hear Korn's new single, Reward the Scars, and it is fucking clean and crisp and different for them. Fuck, I missed having a Korn shirt. I mean, I've mentioned it before, I'm sure, but I used to have one for pretty much every day of the week. They're fucking expensive now. Make band shirts affordable again, damn it. Please. My wallet. Oh no. And I say make band shirts affordable. I just realized I have like 4 Ramones shirts and I just bought another one. Like, and I've it's like, there was a point where I wore one to bed, wore one for working out, and then changed into a Ramones shirt, to go out in the public. That's how many Ramones shirts I currently have. But I need other bands, and so there's that. But yeah. I was pleasantly surprised in 2023 with how much I enjoyed Five Nights at Freddy's. I've never played the games. So I was afraid I wouldn't get it. But the games, I was going to say were huge, but I'm pretty sure they still are. Maybe there's someone saying, no, Terri, no one plays that anymore. But I didn't feel like I was missing anything when I watched the original movie. I really, really liked it. And of course, it didn't hurt that the animatronics were done by Jim Henson's Creature Shop. Yeah, they were stellar. So I'm sure nostalgia also plays into it. I mean, I was a kid that really loved a pizza party. I don't think I ever had a party at Chuck E. Cheese, but I did have one at Peter Piper pizza. The alliteration, the Peter Piper pizza is the pizza people pick. Or, and that might have been one of the birthdays I lived in California. And I had at least one birthday at Shakey's Pizza Parlor. Oh, my Lanta. Guys, okay, y'all might not know this, but Shakey's was a huge deal in San Angelo, Texas, and West Texas. I think they had a couple of other locations, but it had like multiple mini movie theaters, a buffet, a stacked arcade, good prizes, like prizes that weren't going to break the next day. They waited till like the week after. Slides, tunnels, and a cheeseburger pizza that could give an 8-year-old a coronary. A coronary, it really could. Like, isn't that the dream? That's a dream right there. But all of that's to say, a sequel to Five Nights at Freddy's was an obvious yes for me. It was fun, it was creepy, and I'm ready for that third helping. I really am. I really can't get into the sequel without giving anything away. So watch it. And if you've ever played the video game and you like it, convince me, like, 1, how to play it. And 2, just how awesome it would be if I did play it. Boom. Burpee. But, I really, let me see. We missed Easter. We missed Easter together, you guys. I didn't want to mention it, but none of y'all called me on Easter. But I didn't call you, so it is a two-way street. I'm sorry. But I really don't do anything for Easter. I think if I had kids, it might be different, but I don't. So no big, ridiculous, embarrassing Easter photos. Which, looking at some of the outfits my mother put my brother and I in, my God. But I do always watch Critters too. I say always, just for the past few years. It is an Easter movie. The Easter Bunny gets killed and everything. That's not a spoiler. But I don't really watch the first one as often, but I had found out while looking where it's playing, that all 4 Critters movies were on Tubi, so I just put them on. In a pinch, it's been very helpful to go to IMDb and go to the actual thing you're looking for, and a good chunk of the time, the movie page will tell you where it's streaming. That's how I'm finding where shit is now. It, God forbid it's easy. Capitalism was in no way a mistake. Oh, Terry, don't go there. Anyways, yeah, no. Don't watch Critters 3 all that much. It's meh. The main thing you'll walk away remembering is that Leonardo DiCaprio's in it. A baby Leo DiCap. Leo DiCap? But the credits are also the beginning of Critters 4. And it was this watch that I realized I've never seen most of Critters 4. So I'm just watching it as I'm folding like some towels. And I'm like, is that Angela fucking Bassett? Brad Dourif is in this? Are you serious? And then I just kind of got lost in it because I knew the world so well that I'm like, is this good? I mean, or am I just that big of a dork? It can be both. It can actually be neither. It's whatever. But it's a Critters movie, so do with that what you will. But it was pretty fun. I enjoyed it. And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. As far as upcoming flicks, I just saw the new trailer for Sunrise on the Reaping. We'd been getting little amuse-bouches, and we finally got like the big blam. And it's kind of crazy because the book just came out in March of last year. It is crazy how quickly that thing was cast. But, that's the nature of the biz now, which is fine. Steven and I are really big Hunger Games fans, so November! It's coming out in November. We listened to the audiobook for Sunrise on the Reaping together, and Jefferson White is such an amazing narrator. I think he's actually in the movie. I think he's like he's not a child in it or whatever. He might be a lesser known character that lived in District 12, I think. I haven't checked recently. But yes, I can't wait to see it. And it's going to be devastating. So my heart may never fully recover. If you're not into the books, sometimes reading certain things that are very dystopian are easy because it's like, wow, I'm so naive to think that, we're better off now. It might be a little hard to read now as things continue to, excuse me, I'm like wiping my nose. As things continue to be on fire, filled with used needles, and as we mentioned, a lot of VHS copies of Wedding Crashers, it's Hunger Games can be an uncomfortable read, but it's not supposed to be a comfort read. So do with that what you will. Something a little easier on the heart is Hacks. Hacks is officially back. And I'm so fucking happy. Like, Steven and I just watched episode 3 and keep quoting it. But yes, the 5th and final season is great so far. And I feel like I just discovered the show. I just discovered it and I'm already saying goodbye to it. I'm fine. I did have a major geek out in episode 2 because Renee O'Connor shows up as herself. She was Gabrielle in Xena Warrior Princess. I'm trying not to always assume people know who, everybody is the way I do, but it's Gabrielle. But I'm pretty sure I've mentioned this before, but yeah, I was one of 2 members of Hutcherson Junior High's Xena Warrior Princess fan club. Was it official? No. But did that stop Don Min Hong from drawing new artwork every week? Also no. So there was a point in episode 2 of Hacks where I had to pause to explain to Steven all these things that apparently couldn't wait until the episode was over. I'm like, it's the first thing I saw Carl Urban in. The main reason I'm in love with Ted Raimi is he was Joxer the Mighty, and Xena's weapon was actually a chakram. She went through a few, but I didn't really like the one that broke into 2. I named a character in my book after Xena's son, though I changed the spelling. I used to practice the ululation Xena did as her battle cry. I've done it a few times at conventions. I'm pretty sure it's technically Zagruda. But maybe it's not. Now, I'm going to say it is. It's a Zagruda. So, yeah. Steven needed to know that before we finished the last 5 minutes of Hacks. The man got up and had a snack. He was taking so long to... Yeah, but in Hacks, there is something endearing about the character of Jimmy, who's one of my favorite characters. Just loving Xena as much as I did. Though I will say, he tells Renee that they should really do a Xena rewatch podcast. And it would shock me to learn that they've never considered that before. But hey, the latest trailer for what's technically season 3 of Interview with a Vampire, but I think they're just calling it The Vampire Lestat, just released this week as well. June, baby. I think June 7th. Sam Reed was born to play Lestat. I have no clue how they're going to work out some of this stuff, but I trust the showrunners. I mean, I really don't have a choice, but still, I trust them. And I just downloaded Lestat's version of Dancing with Myself, which has been in my head for a while. I hope they release the whole album. I really do. I love it for a totally different reason than I love the Queen of the Damned soundtrack. So lots of fun stuff. Hopefully something mentioned in media sounded good to you. And I really do try to keep spoilers out of my recaps. So, unless it's something huge in the zeitgeist, I'm trying to think of something. Bruce Willis was dead the whole time. Boom, roasted. But as I mentioned before, if you'd like to recommend music or a show or movie or book to me, send me a message at obscurechatter@gmail.com. But yes, what a time to be alive. It's been an interesting April, mostly chill. I wrapped up season 1 of You and I Are Polar Opposites. I love voicing Miyu's mama. She's so fun, and I relish any chance to play off of Celeste. I hope I get to do more in the future. And I really can't believe the second season is happening so soon. That's new. That's new for me. And I say it's new as I realized I've been in anime for 18 years. So much about the industry has changed in that time. Some good, some not so good. Some things that I never would have believed if you'd told me, hey, this is going to happen in like 2008 when I started. But I'm ready for more. Surprise me, hopefully in nothing but good ways. So I say that it's been 18 years, but it is odd when people refer to me as a veteran voice actor. It really doesn't feel that way. Whether it's like a group session or what we call a walla with all actors session, or just a short session with a character with no name, or like the lead, or a big important ensemble character, or the big bad. Which actually, now that I think about it, I don't think I've played a big bad. Let's fix that. I don't know how to fix it, but let's fix it. But regardless of what it is, I'm always nervous. In that like newbie way. And I'm always hoping that I do well and that the people working with me enjoy working with me. I'm telling you, being an actor this long, because I've been voice acting for 18 years, but I've been acting since I was 14. Acting this long is simultaneously constantly feeling like you've been working forever, but also somehow going into each opportunity like it's your first day on the job. It's a bit of a mindfuck. But yeah, 18 years just in voiceover. My VO experience can be drafted. But my VO experience and I are going to run away to Canada! To Canada! Run! If I fall, don't come back for me! I don't know. I don't think my VO experience can run. Maybe they can't. Maybe it can. It's got great lung capacity. But thank you for all the questions and requests that have been sent this time and every other time. Thanks for all the times you guys have sent stuff. It's almost always a pleasure to hear from y'all. I've been getting a lot of things similar to this question that I've been kind of like on like really answering, but the question is, are you done doing signings? I'd love to get something from you, but you don't do conventions anymore. All right, real talk. If I can be real. I think I've talked about this off and on, but I don't recall exactly how much detail I've gone into. I'll try not to trigger anyone, but that's because that's the last thing I want. But I might have to mention some traumatic stuff. I'm going to try to censor it, but it is worth bringing up because it's one of the reasons why conventions haven't been a big priority for me. But if it does bother you at any point, wherever you're listening, they probably do an automatic transcript or something. Just kind of look ahead to like the next thing. When I stop talking about conventions, da-da-da-da-da. Or, speed through it. And it just sounds like, do whatever you need to do. My last major conventions were in 2019. Again, I apologize if this is repetitive for some of y'all, but Steven and I were in the middle of trying, and we hadn't originally wanted kids, but there was just a point where we really thought that, hey, this is the next step for us. And when we did get pregnant, we were both stupidly busy, like not ungrateful at all, because having a baby is really expensive. So, I'd even started planning stuff around, when the baby was going to be due, including the pilot of this show, which is not what episode 1 technically is, as I've talked about before. But like I recorded the pilot for this show like a couple of days after having the pregnancy confirmed. So we started planning out the rest of our year, and like I was gonna pass on some work, stop doing conventions after my stop for a while after my last one in St. Louis. So Stephen doesn't always join me at conventions, but luckily he was there when during an autograph session, I realized something was wrong. Like I'd started feeling weird before opening ceremonies. Yeah, this was the first day of the convention, and the feeling just got worse. Like with like 20 or 30 minutes left in the autographs session, which had like some great people, and I'm sure I did not give off like I'm 100% here vibes, because I was starting to feel really, really bad. But we got one of the main guest relations people to take me to the nearest hospital. And the hospital was fuck awful. The situation itself was not good, but the entire experience was made worse by people that treated both of us like complete and utter dog shit. So about 10 hours later, I won't get into it, but yeah, about 10 hours later, I was released. And the convention people did give me the option to leave. And I didn't take it. I needed to stay busy. I needed to kind of like cut off my brain and just be like, work. You know? So it'll always affect me talking about this, but I'm coming at this from a not ignoring the pain type of way. I've grown a lot and done a lot of therapy since this. So I'm fine, and I hope you're fine too as you listen to this, but we're sharing experiences. So the convention, the staff, the volunteers, the attendees, I cannot say this enough. Y'all really saved me and Stephen that weekend. You really, really did. It's like you all knew we needed like this love and this positivity that you guys brought us, both of us. Even like I say some of my fellow guests, some of them were nosy as fuck and needed to mind their own fucking business. That's real. That's too real. Sorry. But you helped me. Most of you helped me postpone walking into a very dark place that I'm very happy I had a partner to walk alongside. I will forever be grateful for all of that. So that whole experience took a long time to really unpack. And somewhere along the way, I kind of got afraid to go to conventions. Because there is really something about having an emergency away from home that tied itself to the whole going to conventions experience. And then the pandemic happened just a few months later. And flying hasn't gotten any less miserable. It's gotten worse, obviously. So to protect my peace, I've said no to any convention I can't easily drive to. And that's pretty much left me doing smaller local appearances, virtual meetups, and that's about it. I also learned that I'm not a big fan of going to cons where I have to spend hours on end at a table. I love panels. I love really meeting you guys. There's so many people I've met just spending, probably my entire appearance fee in the dealer's rooms. And there are certain conventions where you don't get paid up front, which is really annoying to me. Just give me a flat fee. I don't want a guarantee. The guarantee is annoying to me. But I might be in the minority there. Maybe I haven't run into a good experience with that yet, but it's just weird to me. But yeah, autograph sessions are where I've had some great experiences with y'all. I've hugged and cried with you. I've gossiped with you. I've spilled some shit that I definitely shouldn't have spilled just being at a table with y'all. I really do miss meeting you all. I have my reservations for just some of the reasons I talked about, but I'm not done. That's the answer, like the official answer. I'm not done doing signings. I'm just a lot more selective now to protect that ever so important piece. I'm not opposed to doing things like online signings, however the fuck those really work, or, doing like a shop. It's just a lot of work that I'm overwhelmed to think about. It's something that that interests a lot of people that I've been asked about. So let me know if that's something you really want, where you just want an autograph or a little note from me. Or I've been playing with doing like Polaroids, where it's like, this is unique. Like, only you have this photo. Polaroid, not creepy Polaroids. My God, grow up, some of you. No, I would also, oh my gosh, I'm already thinking about like stuff like I would need to commission some new art because there are so many characters I have nothing for. So all of that's to say, if you'd like to see me at a convention and you think they might be convinced to just let me drive there and reimburse me for gas and possible hotel stay along the way, have them shoot me a message. You never know. But I really do miss y'all. Yeah, let's get those invites flowing. Like, I'll find some artists to work on stuff for. Oh my God. I'm so lucky to work on so much. I'm thinking like Suki from Uzaki-chan, like Minade from Wave Listen to Me, and maybe like a new Mori Mori, or like me from Bofuri, or like Kotino from Shionji. Oh my God, I'm just, Mama needs more money. And to stop calling herself Mama. See, that's how far behind I am. But yes, I will contemplate setting up a new P.O. box so y'all can send me stuff as well, because that's been another thing, is where can I send something just to get something sent back? I'm not personally a fan of having stuff sent to me through a studio. Don't send stuff to the studio in my name, because I think that's a lot of pressure on them to keep up with. I'm a contractor with all the studios I work with, so it's weird to get mail there as a contractor. But yeah, you have to let me know if you're interested in how you're interested in doing it. Either tell me in socials or obscurechatter@gmail.com. But because all of those options require spending money, and I like having money, not spending it. So the little I have of the money, I'd love to keep, but I'm happy to spend if you guys want some options. Let me know. All right, if you skipped ahead, look at the transcript. This is where you're picking up. Woo! I'm waving my arms in the booth like you can see it. You're welcome. You're back. But in addition to the questions, I've also been getting a lot of, here's what you're doing wrong messages lately. And for the love of Xena and Gabrielle and Joxer the Mighty, stop sending me AI prompts. I'm serious. I got like one that really set me off on Monday. That's like, I don't think you being a voice actor is enough to make your book really popular. And I went off on like no one and everyone. My dog hid. That's how fucking like, fuck you. I didn't respond. But it was an AI prompt. It was so clearly an AI prompt, which I want to know like what the prompt officially was. But yeah, here's how you should consider monetizing every facet of your life down to every finite second you have on this stupid fucking planet. Like, fuck you. Get fucked. I just want to be me. And if I fail to make money doing that, I'm an artist. Making money is clearly not something I'm interested in. Got him. But yeah, no matter what I do or say, there's someone somewhere that wants to tell me what to do next for my career or my book or social media or even this show. I had a dinner last week over at Joel McDonald's, and Joel I hadn't seen in a while, and we were talking about books because he's written at least one book himself. Fantabulous book, which everybody should pick up. But and I believe he narrates it too. But I was just like, honestly, it was everybody and their mom bugging me about like how to promote it, what to do next, blah blah blah. That I'm like, that was just one of the reasons that I lost all motivation to write a second book. And he's like, yeah, I get it. Immediately, like, you're not gonna get like a why, like anything from Joel. Like, he got it immediately. I don't know how to tell some of you that have I'm not interested in like that. Hustle culture just really has made monsters out of so many of us. And I get caught up in it still here and there. I'm very much a hypocrite when I say that. And I have plenty of friends that do it and really fucking know how to do it. I don't judge them. I just can't do it consistently or well. So if I'm sharing something, it's just because I want to. I really, like there have been a couple of times over the years like, hey, if you give people this QR code, we'll know that they hit the QR code specifically from your profile and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, can we not, please? Because I don't know how to do that shit authentically. Speaking of this, have you guys tried the new da-da-da? Oh, God, I can't. And also pay me if you want that done. But yeah, I know it's a foreign concept, but I really do like doing things just to do them or say I tried. Like I wrote my book to write a book. I podcast because I like to do it. I've been podcasting for 16 years. And you think I've been making any money doing it? That's cute. I draw because it's fun. Nothing else will come from my doodles. And you can point to this when it's like, oh yeah, you remember when you said this, Terry? And I'm like, I can't even think of a scenario where someone's like, we're going to pay you $80 bajillion for that doodle of a ghost in front of a bookstore. We need it. We need it for our campaign. And yeah, my socials have nothing to do with money. I've been doing social media since I was coding on MySpace, for fuck's sake. It's all about keeping up with friends and colleagues while staying informed and only slightly cyber-stalking people I look up to. So I guess my real response to anyone that has notes for me is, you're answering a question I didn't fucking ask you. But if you want to book me for work, we can talk. Otherwise, save your effort and lack of effort for someone that cares. Does that mean, fuck you? No. Maybe a little bit. I said in the last episode I was going to keep things chill for my birthday, and I am proud to announce that I think I stuck to it. It rained a lot, and I allowed myself not to freak out about the weather or multiple changes in plans. I like to think I've gotten better at changing things up at the last minute. There's at least 4 friends that are like, oh, so who's gonna tell her? But like Steven was like, what do you want to do? And it's 42, so I didn't want to do like a huge birthday thing. And so I just requested like foods and a couple of things. And, the foods I requested, like my favorite breakfast burrito place, turns out is closed on the weekends. And my birthday was on a Saturday. So we went to one of our go-to places down the street, and it was pretty damn delicious. We rarely are up in enough time to do breakfast with them. My favorite Chinese takeout place was just too far with the weather and everything. I just couldn't justify Steven driving there just for some orange chicken. So we went to our, sometimes I definitely our and we, I've been with my dude for 20 years, our favorite Thai place instead. It was just as fucking good, and I love the service there. They're great. Thai Tip in Hearst. But my favorite pizza place, doesn't do delivery well. They just don't. Like when you pick it up, but driving to it's a pain in the ass. And it's a local place. But I gotta admit, I'm a big sucker for the New Yorker pizza at Pizza Hut. And it's cheaper. So, I mean, I had it before I did this show too, which I completely broke my only pizza once a month rule. Because I really wanted pizza. But yeah. I requested a strawberry tres leches cake from Claudia's. So I thought, and Steven thought, it would be completely pink inside, like when you cut into it. And only the fillings between layers was pink. And that was weird because they've done the whole pink before. But I still loved every bite. So 0 freakouts. Just good eating. Way too much cake. Aside from that, I had planned to thrift, but I actually hate thrifting on the weekend. So I did it throughout the week leading up to my birthday. I found a lot of funky t-shirts at Little Plank Vintage in Hearst, which is in the same complex as Rag & Bone, which I got a bunch of CDs, one of which was free because Heather knew it was my birthday and she couldn't find the price tag. A win is a win. I found a resin bust of Frankenstein's monster at Horror Freak. I found some cute dresses and a couple like pearl snap Western shirts at Alice Bowie. Is it Alice Bowie or Alice Bowie? I say both. Whatever. That's also in Hearst. And I got a lot of across from Alice Bowie is a thrift shop called Twice Blessed, and I found like a bunch of wool yarn there. And I paid like very little for it. It was great. I got a new band shirt. See, I said I wanted new band shirts, and I got a new Typo Negative shirt from Steven. It's so soft. My hairstylist Andrea gifted me some purple shampoo. It was a good birthday haul, is what I'm saying. No drama. Well, oh shit. I was about to confidently finish with like no drama, but wait. Steven and I almost got hit by a car, so a little bit of drama. Like we were crossing in our neighborhood on my actual birthday, and a car sped up to cut us off, even though pedestrians have the right of way. Trust me, I've learned that since being hit by a car. We had to stop in the middle of the street, otherwise this guy would have hit us. So, yeah, getting hit by a car once was enough. And I was 13 the last time I got hit. I highly doubt I'd bounce back the same almost 30 years later. The driver just waved at us as I called him like a cunt-flavored fuxicle, and then he just drove off. But joke was on him because I have a stupid good memory and memorized his license plate. Wrote it out, and Steven drove around the neighborhood the next day and found his car. And nothing says, I'm old, quite like, I'd like to fill out an information report for reckless driving. We got him. We got him, everyone. We got this son of a bitch. So I guess there was a little bit of drama, which, is also good for a birthday. Happy birthday to me. But I guess you could say the real birthday gifts were the friends I didn't make along the way. God. Thank you for being a part of Obscure Chatter. This lovely community continues to rock my socks. If you like what you hear, be sure to give us a good review wherever you're listening. And please keep it legal. The show's free. Come on. You can submit questions, requests to obscurechatter@gmail.com. All submissions, again, are anonymous. So, until next our paths cross, read good shit, watch good shit, listen to good shit, don't be a shit, call people on their shit, and keep that cat shit out of my fucking garden.